Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. In the translation of that message, it reads like this. I am 30 years old and I was supposed to be a doctor. That was my dream as well as my mother's dream, but there are problems that I am facing. Everyone who knew me growing up, they knew that I wanted to become a doctor. From the time I was a little girl, I worked hard and I was determined to change my life, to rise above the poverty, the struggles that my parents were facing. But now when I look at myself, I am nothing. I have nothing. And all the people that I went with to university, when I look at the lives that they are living, they have good lives, but not so much for me. I am unemployed and I am sick at all the times. The spiritual battles that I face on a daily basis, it is constant spiritual battles, your panic attacks, like it is really sad. And I never asked for anything. I never asked for there to be a spiritual battle between my ancestors and I did not choose such a thing. There is no one who wants to fight with his or her own ancestors. Rather, I was born into such a miserable life. All of my life, I was told that the ancestors, they guide and they protect us, that they clear the path for our success. But what do you do when those ancestors are the very reason as to why your life is in ruins? What do you do when your ancestors are at war with each other, when you are their spiritual battlefields? I am the daughter of a Zimbabwean father, a man who came to South Africa a very long time ago, and he then got married to my mom. My father then passed away, but as far as much as I remember, my father, he was a herbalist, and he used to say that even back in his village from where he come from, most of his relatives who are my blood relatives, they are also herbalists. They do ancestral worship, and my South African mother as well. So it seems as if there is a spiritual battle, as I have been told that my father's ancestors, they want me to return back, but my mother, she refused, because that is what she was told, that her ancestors, they do not want me to go to Zim, because if I go there, I won't come back. So instead of walking with me or blessing me, these ancestors from my father and from my mother's side, they are tearing me apart, and I am always having all of these panic attacks whenever they fight for me in the spiritual realm. Then I do have these spiritual attacks, and I feel so much pain in my chest area, and I know that those are panic attacks. I do take some medication. So I have always been the one who was the smart one in my family, the one whom people thought had a bright future. I grew up in Soweto, and even though my father's Zimbabwean roots made me to feel different sometimes, I never let it stop me. I excelled in school, and when I got accepted into medical school, it felt like it was my destiny. My destiny was falling into place, and I was going to become a doctor. I would save lives, but my ancestors, I guess they had other plans. The sickness, adversity started small, headaches, tiredness, and strange dreams. At first, I thought it was just stress from studying. Medical school is hard, everyone knows that, but then it got worse. I started having nightmares. In my sleep, I will see people that died a long time ago that I could not recognize, calling my name, speaking sometimes a language that I could not understand. When I would wake, it would be hard to breathe, as if there is someone who would want to choke me to death. And then there came the physical sicknesses, fevers, dizziness, weakness. The doctors would find nothing until I was told that I do suffer from regular panic attacks, feels like dying. One day, I collapsed in the middle of a lecture, and my mom took me from one hospital to another. And when this other doctor said that Western medicine is not helping her, how about if you go with her to a traditional healer? He was a guy from DRC who helped me at that time. We did not want to go because my mom, she said, no, we do not want to do that. But at the same time, the way that I was sick, she said it is time for us to put superstitions aside. At that point, we were so desperate, and any kind of relief, that was all that we wanted. We went to the Sangoma. We visited this other old woman, Ezangoma, and when we went there, she did not even ask me and my mom and my brother why we were there. The moment that we sat in front of her, she then said, you are sick because your ancestors are fighting. She said, this lady, her father, I can tell that she is from another country and the blood is crying out, and your ancestors want you to cross the river so that you can just go back to the village where your father grew, where your father is buried. He is crying out for you. He is saying that across that land, across the river, I left my daughter. I want her to visit me sometimes. I want her to come and see where I was buried. She was not there when I was buried because I was fighting with the mother. So my mom has since refused. She said there is no way you will ever go there because there are other problems that happened between my parents. Because when my father came here, because of the lack of papers, everything was in my mother's name. So unfortunately, when my father passed away, the relatives then started speaking with my mom, and my mom said she did not have anything that belonged to my father, for everything is in her name. That is the problem now. The ancestors, they are fighting. And that lady even said that I am chosen, I must accept and do Ugutwasa so that I can become a healer. And if I do not do that, I will never know peace. And my mom, she said that I was supposed to be a doctor. There is no way that I can become a Sangoma. So that is where we left it. I returned back to varsity. Things got so bad and I could not even do anything, and until I told myself that I cannot continue with my education. It is far much better that I drop off. So I agreed to go for Ugutwasa, not because I wanted to, but my body was tired of being sick, tired of dreaming about people that are dead, tired of failing at everything. Even if I would get a job, I will be fired. People just hate me for no reason at all. And the problem when I wanted to go for Ugutwasa, the problem is money. Ugutwasa is very expensive. The ceremonies, the training, the sacrifices, it cost more than we have. So I got stuck. Then I had already dropped out of medical school because I was too sick to continue. Now I cannot even become a Sangoma because we cannot afford it. So what is left for me? Nothing. My friends, they became doctors. Some became teachers, engineers. I am trapped in a spiritual war that I never signed up for. My father's ancestors are demanding that I return back to that village where my father is buried. My mother's ancestors, they are refusing. They say that I am their blood. I belong to them. And I really do not know. I feel like I am a child that is caught between two worlds, and I really do not know what am I supposed to do. Last month, I met another traditional healer. When I met this traditional healer, it was on Facebook. So I spoke with that traditional healer who told me that they can assist me, but since this healer is in Zim, I am supposed to be there. And now I don't know. I don't have money. I am supposed to go there. He said it is not a lot of things that are supposed to happen to me. All that I have to do is once I am in Zim, just taking the soil in that country, and then they put it in a glass of water, and then I drink that water mixed with the soil that they would have just picked up from any place, and then my father's ancestors will be able to connect with me. When I return back, if I choose to return back to South Africa, then I'll start to have a blessed life. So I don't know what should I do? Should I just raise enough money and then go without telling my mom that this is what I have decided? What if I go there and never return back? What will happen then? Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there, and one of our admin helped us with the translation. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. She is saying that there is a spiritual battle that is happening. Let us try to speak with her in the comment section.